the internet. Joe certainly knows how to market himself well. He was one of the stars in the hit movie The Secret, and he was seen on Larry King Live and was interviewed on Extra TV to talk about Hollywood's latest craze, The Secret. So in short, Joe certainly knows what he's talking about when it comes to marketing. And when he talks, people listen. His marketing methods have made people millionaires. He's been involved with every aspect of marketing, from traditional direct mail to publicity to infomercials. And he's the president of Hypnotic Marketing Incorporated. Here, in this all-new interview between Joe and I, you will learn about Joe's very latest material on marketing. Many of the ideas that follow have never been discussed by Joe publicly and represents his most cutting-edge material on the topic. What will the benefits be for you, the listener, from practicing karmic marketing? Well, a greater level of trust between you and your customers, more effective marketing campaigns, the ability to cut through the noise and stand apart from the crowd, especially the overcrowded online world, a greater level of simplicity and transparency in your marketing, leading to a more balanced and less stress-filled life for you, and greater clarity in your offers to your customers. But last and likely most important, a greater sense of fulfillment for you as a marketing professional, knowing that you are not just selling products and services, but truly making a difference in the lives of your customers. So, sit back and enjoy as Joe and I discuss the power of karmic marketing. Joe, it's great to be with you again today, my friend.
Oh, it's great to be with you again, Dan. I've always enjoyed these conversations and the explorations we go on.
Absolutely. It's like an adventure, and I'm really looking forward to this one. So let's begin with session 1, Why Karmic Marketing Beats Traditional Marketing Every Time. And I want to begin by discussing your personal journey, especially as it relates to the topic of marketing. I think it's quite amazing that many years ago you were homeless, largely unknown, and had few good career prospects, and just a few years later, you became well known as one of the greatest marketing minds in the field. Can you describe that journey, and how did mastering the topic of marketing change your life?
Well, marketing absolutely changed my life, redirected my life, improved my life, gave me abundance in my life, gave me success of an unmeasurable degree in my life. And how did that come about? I did not know what marketing was, advertising, publicity, or any of that as I was beginning my journey of being a published author. My goal was to be an author and just be an author. I wanted to create things that made a difference in people's lives. I wanted to make them happy, and I wanted to make them happy through my written works, whether it was fiction, nonfiction, plays, whatever. Took a long time for my first book to be published. It came out in 1984. It was called Zen and the Art of Writing. And it was a glorious moment because after decades of struggle, I finally am published. But it was also one of the most disappointing moments of my life because I realized publishers don't know how to market books. It's a sweeping statement, but in general, they're glorified printers. And I realized with a very depressing shock to my system that, yes, I was published in 1984, but nobody knew it but me and my family. So that began the mad scramble of how do you get your book noticed? And that's when I started to explore marketing. That's where I discovered that there's something called advertising, there's something called publicity, there's something called direct mail, direct media, direct marketing. And I dived in. Head first because I wanted to know the secrets. I wanted to know how to promote a product or service, and of course, namely, my own. And I learned the hard way. I learned by going to the library. I learned by reading all the books. I learned by applying everything I was reading. And before you know it, I started to sell my own book. My publisher couldn't do it. Nobody else was doing it. But I started to do it in my own kind of barely understanding what I was doing way. And as I started to sell my book, people started to notice. And they would write to me. This is all before the internet, of course. This is 1984. I'm really struggling. I'm basically still in poverty in Houston, Texas. But people are finding out this Joe Vitale guy has a book coming out, and how is he getting it noticed? And a lot of those people were struggling authors. They were speakers who wanted to be noticed, and they were noticing me. And I said, well, it's marketing. I learned how to write sales letters, learned how to write.